The Dallas Cowboys are at a pivotal moment as they look ahead to the 2026 NFL Draft, especially with a defense that, quite frankly, ranked among the worst in the franchise's storied history last season. But here's the kicker. There are 6 elite defensive prospects on the radar that could be game changers for this team. However, here's the catch. It's highly probable that these top-tier talents will be off the board by the time Dallas picks at 12th overall. The buzz around the Cowboys is palpable. There's a strong desire from the front office to move up into the top 10, where they believe they could secure one of these coveted defensive players. But make no mistake, making that leap is no easy feat. It typically requires a bold move, and the Dallas Cowboys might find themselves in a tough spot when it comes to making the necessary bids. The most talked about scenario involves a potential trade with Cleveland, where the Cowboys would move up from 12 to 6. Yet, while this idea dazzles on paper, the Browns would likely demand more than what Dallas is willing to give up. It's a high-stakes game, and right now, the Cowboys must weigh their options carefully. A more realistic approach might be to stick at 12 and draft the best available talent, while considering a move down from their 20th pick to recoup some of the day 2 capital they lost in previous trades involving Quinnen Williams and George Pickens. As we stand on the eve of draft day, the clock is ticking for Dallas. The challenge of trading into the top 10 is significant, and teams are often reluctant to pull the trigger unless the offer is particularly enticing. The Cowboys may find greater success in the 20s, where teams are more inclined to deal, especially with the talent pool thinning as the rounds progress. At the 20th spot, the Cowboys are teetering on the edge of a wealth of talent, particularly at wide receiver. I would be surprised if they don't receive calls from teams eager to trade up. The real question is, what are those teams willing to offer, and who will still be available by the time Dallas is on clock? If the Cowboys can negotiate a trade back, retaining a first-round pick while picking up a late second or early third-round selection, plus an additional late-round pick, it could be a win-win scenario. This more pragmatic approach certainly seems more feasible than chasing after the blockbuster move that would net a player of Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles' caliber. Dallas must stay sharp, adapt to the draft dynamics, and make decisions that will ultimately enhance their roster. The spotlight is on them, and with the draft approaching, the stakes couldn't be higher. Keeping this conversation alive, let's delve deeper into what this means for the Cowboys in their next moves. What do you think? Where are you watching from? And how do you feel about the upcoming draft decisions? As the anticipation builds for the 2026 NFL Draft, speculation is swirling around the Dallas Cowboys, particularly regarding owner and general manager Jerry Jones. There have been whispers of a potential blockbuster trade to move up in the draft order, targeting a touted defensive star. However, a recent report suggests that opposing teams aren't buying into the narrative that Jones is desperate to make a significant move. According to NFL insider Dan Graziano, Cowboys fans hoping for a major trade might need to temper their expectations. Graziano indicated that the Cowboys are not inclined to trade both their first-round picks, currently at number 12 and number 20, in pursuit of a single player. Instead, a smaller move, opting to shift from number 12 without touching number 20, could be in play if one of their desired targets is within reach. The notion of catapulting into the top 5 or 6 picks appears unlikely at this point. The Cowboys reportedly have their sights set on a few key players, including Ohio State safety Caleb Downs, linebacker Sonny Styles, or LSU cornerback Mansour Delane, hoping one of these talents will fall to them at pick number 12. This strategy could even open the door for Dallas to trade down from pick number 20 to acquire additional capital for day 2 of the draft. However, mock drafts are already heating up the conversation. ESPN's Peter Schrager has predicted that the Cowboys will indeed trade up, specifically to snag Delane at number 9. Furthermore, he foresees Dallas selecting UCF edge rusher Malachi Lawrence with their second first-round pick at number 29. It's worth noting that the Cowboys haven't traded up in the first round since 2012, when they made a move for Morris Claiborne. Over the years, they have established themselves as one of the most disciplined and successful drafting teams in the league, with a track record that speaks volumes. They have both their own pick at number 12 and the number 20 pick acquired from the Packers in a Micah Parsons trade, giving them a unique position heading into the draft. Now, while Jerry Jones is known for his willingness to make bold moves when he falls in love with a player, particularly if that prospect unexpectedly drops down the draft board. There's a prevailing sentiment in NFL circles that the Cowboys are unlikely to go all in for a single prospect this time around. With the draft just a day away, all eyes will be on how this strategy unfolds and whether the Cowboys can capitalize on their current picks to strengthen their roster effectively. As fans, it's crucial to keep the dialogue alive. Where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts on the Cowboys draft strategy? Be sure to share your opinions in the comments. Now, let's transition smoothly into our next topic, which will delve deeper into the Cowboys roster moves and what they might signal for the upcoming season. As the Dallas Cowboys navigate the complexities of their roster, one name has emerged as a focal point of speculation: wide receiver George Pickens. The Cowboys slapped the franchise tag on him, a hefty commitment of around $27.3 million for the upcoming 2026 season. But fans, where are you watching from? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the team's decision to tag Pickens without a clear path to a long-term deal? The situation is becoming increasingly tense, as reports indicate that the Cowboys and Pickens are far from reaching a multi-year contract extension. ESPN's NFL insider Adam Schefter recently highlighted the precarious nature of this relationship, stating, "They are nowhere with George Pickens right now. Nowhere with George Pickens." The lack of movement on an extension suggests that Dallas might be weighing their options more cautiously as they approach the 2026 draft. This uncertainty surrounding Pickens is particularly significant as the Cowboys hold two valuable picks, ranked number 12 and number 20, in the upcoming draft. With the potential for a talent like Arizona State wide receiver Jordan Tyson on the board, the Cowboys must consider how their negotiations with Pickens could influence their draft strategy. A player of Tyson's caliber could offer a fresh dynamic to the receiving core, especially given that the franchise appears unfazed by market shifts, such as Jackson Smith-Njigba's jaw-dropping 4-year, $168.6 million deal with the Seattle Seahawks. Schefter also noted that the Cowboys are said to really like Tyson, but the consensus among experts is that he may be off the board before Dallas get a chance to use one of their first-round selections. This presents a dilemma. The Cowboys may need to consider moving down in the draft order instead of attempting a blockbuster trade to secure a top 10 pick. However, owner Jerry Jones has been known to make bold moves when necessary, including the possibility of trading Pickens to recoup some draft assets if he opts to pursue Tyson more aggressively. The reality is that while Pickens has talent, his history of causing headaches for the Steelers and now for Dallas raises questions about whether a long-term commitment is wise. Potential suitors for Pickens may be hesitant to absorb not only his talent, but also the baggage that comes with him, along with the financial demands he is likely to seek in the offseason. How many teams are truly willing to take that gamble? As we look ahead, the Cowboys find themselves at a crossroads. They must balance their immediate needs on the field with the long-term vision for the franchise. The draft looms large on the horizon, and every decision they make now will impact the trajectory of the team. The clock is ticking, and the tension surrounding Pickens only adds to the stakes. As we wrap up this deep dive into the Cowboys' current situation, it's clear that the team is in a critical phase, one that could define their immediate future. The landscape of the NFL is ever-changing, and the Cowboys need to remain agile to adapt to these shifts. Make sure to stay tuned as we continue to bring you the latest updates on the Cowboys and their strategies moving forward. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts on the Pickens situation in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going.